All right. Hi, Dr. Johnson.
Hello, Dr. Johnson.
It is such a pleasure to have you with us. We are on day 2 of our Catch a Vibe conference, and we're so excited to have you.
Yes.
My name is Tatiana Drake. I'm the host of Soaring podcast.
And I am Michaela Love, wellness concierge for Cooking with Love.
Yes.
Yes. So today we have the wonderful Dr. Johnson. And so Dr. Johnson is a mentor, a motivator, and a public speaker, just to name a few.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Johnson has over 23 plus years of working in corporate America for Coca-Cola. You've empowered women in Africa. You've helped young executives to enhance their overall leadership and effectiveness, and contributed to so much more throughout your career.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson, can you tell us a little bit about that?
About working in corporate America or owning my own business, or which one?
Owning your own business. That's what we want to talk to you about today, because listen, we look up to you. We are inspired by you. We have been stalking you, basically, seeing everything that you do, watching the videos that you send us. So I want to just let you know, a disclaimer. I'm ready to be taking notes because I'm looking at this opportunity to learn. I'm urging all the viewers who are watching, get your pen and paper out so that you can take notes to learn as well. We are sponges today.
Yes.
So
you are sponges today. That is a good thing. All right. So what I'll do is let's start with how do you start a business?
Yes.
Okay. So when I first retired from the Coca-Cola company, I thought about, one of the things about starting a business, you think about what is it that you like? What is it that will, make you want to go to work and not feel like you're at work?
Mm.
And that to me was about clothes. So initially I started it was called Adrienne's Fine Resale Boutique. I owned a women's consignment store in Buckhead, Atlanta. And I started off there, and I was like, oh my God, this is so wonderful. And so you have to, when you're starting your business, you have to start with something that you like. So you got to know your skills and your talents, what you're interested in, and what are your goals. And so once I did that, I realized that I needed to start a business plan. Because a business plan, what that will do is you have to do your research, and that will detail all the descriptions about the business, the financial spend, your resources, all the decisions that you need to make, the plans. It even tells you who the team members are, their experience, the location. It's everything, how and what you sell. And as a business plan, you need to review it regularly. Don't just write it and put it on the side. It's something that you will update and change, because as you continue to grow your business, you will continue to grow and you may change your business. Also, people sometimes will use that business plan when you apply for loans, or sometimes even when I've rented a space, and thank God I only rented it from my landlord for 2 years. But he wanted me to sign a 5-year agreement, but something was telling me, that little voice, and that's usually God, was telling me, no, not 5 years. Let me just sign for 2 years, because I had just retired. I wanted to see if this is what I really want to do. Mm-hmm. So I did that. But, I'm a type A personality. So while I was doing my retail business, I also had a consulting business. And that was the Global Connections. And that's where I was still working for Black colleges, and I would hire celebrities to do motivational speaking, or to do, graduation ceremonies or whatever they had. So I managed 2 businesses at one time. And so also part of that business is developing the brand. So I had to have Affinity Global Connections, because those were people that I had worked with at Coca-Cola. At Coke, I was responsible for, I think at the time it was like 117 HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities, and a lot of the presidents. In fact, when I retired, 10 presidents came to my retirement party and said, we're going to hire you. And I said, I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I have this boutique I'm running, and I will also work for alternatives. And so I started doing consulting, so I was managing people. So when you have the business, you also have to think about who your customers are. So So let me tell you about the store, the boutique.
Dr. Johnson, can I interrupt you for a second and ask a question? When you said start a business and figuring out what it is that you like and you want to do. So, for example, for myself, I know what it is that I like and what I want to do. But can we talk just a little bit about the person who feels like they don't have enough money to get started with that? Because you did touch on loans. And I know that's the big problem for me.
Well, not only is it about loans, but it's about funding. Like, how are you going to fund this? So you also have to think about, well, the blessing for me was, I had retired, I had money. The blessing, though, was how, for you as a business owner, how are you going to finance? Are you going to get money from your friends and family? Are you going to have different investors? I mean, just what are you going to do in order for you to get the funding? Are you going to borrow the money? But even when you think about that, before you think about borrowing money, you need to know, what are you borrowing for? So are you going to have a pop-up shop? Or are you going to do like I did? I had brick and mortar. And brick and mortar, I had an actual store with an address. I paid rent. I paid utilities. That was something that you have to do. So you have to look at that to see how you're going to operate your business. Is it going to be a service? Or for me, mine was the boutique. So I had to have inventory. There's a lot of things that comes with when you own a business and it's brick and mortar, as opposed to doing consulting, because it was just me flying in and out with the celebrities doing different things or doing workshops. So there's different types of businesses. You just have to decide, and maybe it's based on your finances or it's based on what the market is there, because that's something you have to look at. In developing that store, what is your brand? Who are your customers? Who are you selling it to? So, for example, like now, my Will You Draw Women in Ghana, I have the program where I put women in business selling reusable sanitary pads. But now they're even selling jewelry. So who is your market? Who are you marketing this to? How much does it cost? What's your break-even analysis? You can't, and I've worked with women in South Africa, and I was teaching them how, if it costs you $3 to make this bracelet, you can't go to the marketplace and sell it for $2. You would have lost money.
Yeah.
I made money for my family. I said, no, if it costs you $3 to make it and you sell it, you just lost money. You have to either sell it for $3 to break even, or you have to sell it for $5 to make more. So that's the kind of thing you have to think about when you're owning your own business and getting the money for that. Also, you have to be creative. If you can't get the money, you have to save it. You don't have the money from friends and family. There's something called angel investors. Those are high net worth individuals.
What is it called again?
They're called angel investors.
Angel investments.
Yeah, angel investors. Yeah. And those are people that are high net worth individuals that have experience in the industry. And they'll invest early in your business and they can afford, the valuable advice and guidance. So you might be able to find an angel investor. Or there might be some other people that you might, some other investors. It just depends on what do they want out of it to invest in you. And then you have to, what do you offer? But now, there is something that's different and unique. I don't know if you probably have to be young enough to know about pitch contest. So the pitch contest, in fact, I'm offering a pitch contest now through my Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, our chapter, Phi Pi Omega. We're doing a pitch contest in Ghana, West Africa. And the prize is $1,000. And the question is, if you win this $1,000, how is that going to improve your business? How will that alter? How can you pivot? What will that do? And we're going to select the winners in August and have them broadcast live. And they will get $1,000. So there are pitch contests in the United States that people have won, $100,000, $200,000 in pitch contests. So you have to get creative in how you find your funding. And then again, don't forget, you have to figure out what do you need the money for. So you'll what you need. You could go somewhere and get $400,000 today, but what are you going to do? What is your business?
Yeah, you have all this money and you don't, I mean, where do you start?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so that's what you have to look at. Like, what is it you want to do? What is it that are you going to sell a product? And then you have to look to see, is somebody already doing that? Or if you're providing a service, you have to look to see, is somebody already doing that? And if they are, why would I buy it from you when I already know I can buy it from them?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about what your value proposition is. So the people know, why shop in your store? Or why come to you when other people can come to you? And then don't forget you have to create a team. Who's on your team? So the team is my accountant, or your financial advisor, financial person, a lawyer. If you have a lot of documents to sign, you have to get, in order to get your business license, you have to go through and find out when you get licensed. Here in Georgia, for example, you have to get a business license, and you just go to the Secretary of State. There's forms you have to fill out, their fees and fines. So you just have to check your respective Secretary of State and find out what they need and what kind of business you want.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense.
That makes a whole lot of sense. So I want to have a little fun with you, Dr. Johnson.
Okay.
Can you please tell us a fun fact about yourself?
Oh, I know a great fun fact.
Okay.
I ran track in high school, and I learned a lot when I ran track. And I was a winner. I ran the hurdles. And so a lot of the things that you learn in playing sports, they carry over in life. For example, I learned that when the gun goes off, you are out of the block, you gotta go. If you decided you're gonna have a business, the gun is gone off, you gotta go. I learned that you have to stay focused on the prize, whatever that is, that goal line. If I ran hurdles, I didn't look at the hurdle as an obstacle because I stayed focused on the goal. I also realized that in running track and in relay, you can't step over the side. If you step in somebody else's lane, you're disqualified. So you have to run your race and stay in your lane. So stay in your lane. I also learned that you have to not look to the side at your competitors. You can't compare yourself with other people. She may have started her business yesterday or 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. It's what you are doing. Stay focused on your goal. I learned that you can't look back. So people are always looking back, and I'm like, you can't change the past.
Yeah.
Why are you back? So you can't do that. And then I learned also that it's drop of the time. If you're going to make mistakes, but you just learn from those mistakes. If you drop of the time, you can up and go back to great. And then finally, I learned that it's important to move that the time back. So you got to pass. You have to help somebody else. And the law of the universe, you got to help somebody. And once you become successful, rich and famous, you got to take that time to do something. So
your fun fact was actually a fun fact and a teachable moment.
Yes.
So you are amazing. Thank you. I didn't expect to get all of that, but it makes so much sense. We were just talking about that with some of the other ladies who were on yesterday about not comparing yourself to other people, to just like focusing on what your focus, what you're doing. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. So
I feel like this is a good segue to ask about like sponsorship.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I really enjoyed the last piece that you talked about, Dr. Johnson, as far as like paying it forward. And helping people as you go up in the business. And one of the questions that we want to ask you is like, as a young person just getting in business, how do you go about seeking mentorship or sponsors in the appropriate way?
Mm-hmm. So this is as an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get a sponsor? I tell you what I would do. I sponsor a lot of people, and it's not that they ask me. I mean, sometimes people ask me, but the key is just learning from someone and finding that person that has a giving spirit and a person that has sort of a teaching spirit. You know, you don't want to be around a selfish person, but somebody that doesn't mind, helping you, that will help you so that you don't fall into that pitfall that they did. And so, and I would do that by maybe training somebody, or, what I used to do is for my store, in order to grow my business, I wasn't open on Mondays, and on Mondays I would go visit my competitors. They didn't know who I was anyway. So I would just go shop in their store and look to see what they were doing differently, And so, and then if I found somebody, in fact, I joined the organization. That's something else you can do. If you own a business, you need to join national organizations. So you can meet other people like yourself. And so for me, in the clothing business, it was it's called NARC. I think it was like the National Association of Retail, something, I don't know. But I met a lot of people there, and they became friends, and we're still friends now. They still have this store. And so, it's just being with people and asking. People don't mind telling you. I mean, if you're not their competitor, they don't mind sharing some of the things. Like, how did you start your business? Or why did you close your business? Or what advice do you have for people that want to be entrepreneurs? And so I think that's the key, is talking to people, being kind, polite, sincere, and that'll help as well, I think.
I have a question. Have you ever failed at a business that you started?
No, I wouldn't say I failed at a business. I would say that I thought I wanted to own it, and I changed my mind. And there's nothing wrong with changing your mind. I mean, it was a great location. We had great fun, made money. But you know what? I found it confining, because my passion is helping women business create businesses in Africa. So I like it. I go 3 and 4 times a year, and I put women in business in Liberia. They were selling Coca-Cola products, women in South Africa, and now I've created over 100 women entrepreneurs in this program called Woyiga, which is my nonprofit. So I love, like, when you contact me, I'm like, what time do you want to talk?
Yes. Yeah, Dr. Johnson, what compelled you to reach out to help women like that? And like, what would, because that's a big decision to make, especially with all the women that you've helped as well. So,
yeah, you know what? Hey, I'll be honest with you. I think it was because I was a teenage mother. And so I had my son at 17, and I was in the hills of Kentucky. So if there's a pregnancy, there's going to be a wedding, but that doesn't mean there's going to be a marriage. So at 17, I'm having my son, 18 and 17, married, 20, I'm divorced. So I got a GED, and I got this kid. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And so I was looking around for people to help me. Wow. And I didn't really find a lot of people to help me. So, I just had to get on my grind. I had to work day, work in the evening. I had my son in school. I went to community college because I didn't have any confidence in myself. And so I didn't think that I could do it. So I went to community college first. And then I was making straight A's. I was like, I'm not going to finish college. Hey, let's go to the university. So I was able to go to the University of Louisville and School of Business. And I graduated. I was like, oh my God, maybe I'm not dumb. Maybe I am smart. And so sometimes you don't have that confidence in yourself. And so because I went through that, I think that's why I help women there. Because I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through. It's just, we have to give that. We have to.
I received that.
I received that wholeheartedly. My mom was a teen mom as well. And my grandmother was also a teen mom. So I broke that in our family, and being the first person to go off to college and stuff. So I can definitely, I know like the struggles with having a teen mom and just seeing my mother and my Nana just grind hard and try to make a life for us. So I take my hat off to you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah. I definitely resonated with that story as well, Dr. Johnson. And, you know, when Tati had the idea to do a virtual conference, it felt good and it felt right, because I've always wanted to plan something to bring women together. But going back to what you were talking about, like not having that confidence in yourself, like, you know, the negative self-talk, like, who do you think you are trying to pull something like that together?
Yeah.
So it was a really good segue, and it was like a meeting of the minds, you know, birthing this. And so to see it come to fruition is very beautiful. And to sit, you know, across from you and to ask you these questions and to share with our viewers is definitely a blessing. We're learning. I feel like the people out there are going to be able to be sponges and soak up some information as well, because, you know, I don't have it all figured out. I'm like a baby in my business, you know, but when people ask questions, I'm definitely going to share whatever it is, you know, because it can help them. So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So our last question really that we have for you is just to kind of tie up everything that we've really been discussing. I think I'm feeling overwhelmed because I got a lot more than I knew that I was going to get a lot from you, but I'm feeling just very grateful right now. And I can probably speak for the both of us in that. So thank you so much. But how do we maintain a business? So when we do everything that you talked about doing, and we get there, we have this business, we have the funding, we have the sponsors, we have the success. How do you stay there?
Yeah.
Okay. So that gets to be that's the grind. Okay. That's the time when you give great customer service. I mean, when people walk out that door, they're like, I got to come back to this store, or I've got to hire her again. I've got to work with her again. You've joined your national organization, so you know people. So people know you. One thing about the African American community too, a lot of it is word of mouth. Mm-hmm. So people say, listen, I'm doing coaching, and so I do coaching, and I have my clients. A lot of them come to me because somebody referred them. So I do technical coaching, executive coaching, business coaching. Like we're doing that. Marketing. Advertising, that's crucial. Not only that, getting involved in your community. So people say, hey, they help me, I'm gonna shop there because they're in my community help. You also have to do that competitive edge. Like, what are you doing different? Like in my store, for example, I had Friday happy hours. I would have celebrities drop by or people singing. I'd move the racks out of the way, and I'd have things going on in the store. So I put a big TV screen up so that the gentlemen, the husbands, can watch games while their wives shop. I serve wine. You know, so you got to make it different for something special so people will want to come back. And then you have to make it SWOT. That's really important. And SWOT stands for you got to know your strengths, you have to know the weaknesses of the business, opportunity, and teach them the threat. So what could be a threat to something like this? And just continue to grow your network, boost your visibility. Like I said, I did those weekly store visits. I stay abreast of the industry. So whenever something's coming down the pipe, you could call me now, and I can tell you what's going on. Like, I'm doing work out. I just had a call from a friend who's in Sydney, and I said, yeah, I'll be over there. As soon as the airport's open, I'm out. I'm open. So there are women in Sydney that I need to help. You know, and you gotta have that work-life balance.
Say that.
You gotta have. I'm gonna say it again.
Say it again.
So in fact, you gotta protect your yeses, and when you say no, you mean no.
Yeah, limitations.
Otherwise,
boundaries.
Yeah, you say, well, listen, the cheap or fast food, you need to go over it because I'm more quality instead of quantity. So if it's cheaper somewhere else, not a problem. But in our store, this is what's good. Or with my company, this is what's good. In fact, I just turned down a client the other day, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm not the person. You need this done in 2 weeks. I believe in master classes and really teaching you to do things. In fact, I wrote a book, The Do's and Don'ts of Fundraising, because I wanted people to know how you go about it. So you go in and you don't go in and brainstorm. You go in with one idea and you listen to what that person is saying because they control the purse string. So they say, only start doing things with, I don't know, with children in undeveloped countries or something, like developing countries. That's what they sponsor. That's what you do. So you can't be that rigid, but you can't do it. And then, look and see when their proposals are due. Are the proposals due weekly? Like July? Is it that they only take them on Fridays? Or what is their period that they accept proposals? And what does the proposal look like? So just knowing that kind of information, so you know when you get a corporate client, just because you got funded this year doesn't mean you're funded every year. So you have it this year, but you have to maintain that relationship. And in maintaining that relationship, it means you to one thing, become friends, because fundraising is fundraising. Remember that person sitting outside their door is their gatekeeper. So they're going to be nice to the gatekeeper.
Yes.
Get in again. And it's nice to follow up. So talk to the person before you get the money, during your event, and after. Send clippings. Send thank you notes. Send, if they didn't stop by, send something to them and let them know. And just know that no this year doesn't mean no every year. So don't burn that through. So that's why you have to write the book. I wrote a book, The Do's and Don'ts of Fundraising. That's what
The Do's and Don'ts of Fundraising.
Make sure y'all write that down.
The Do's and Don'ts of Fundraising.
Exactly.
Dr. B. Johnson.
Our website. Yes, absolutely. It's important. You want the money is so scarce nowadays. There aren't that many people that really have large budgets. So you're competing with people that have formal relationships. Maybe everybody has a great project or service. And so they have to have a reason. So, you just need to know how to do it. That's what I'm here to do.
All right. Well, thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson, for giving us your time.
Yes.
We appreciate it so much. Again, like we told you on the phone call, we can't afford you. We cannot afford you. So we are so blessed to have you.
Yes.
And thank you for sitting down to just give us a second of your time to talk with us. I really know that the audience will benefit from this as well as we have. And I'm not going to keep you any longer because I don't want you trying to charge us.
Invoice real quick. Let me see if I can write one up.
Okay. Thank you
so much, Dr. Johnson.
Congratulations, and I pray that your conference is a complete success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
God bless.